Representatives of the zodiac sign Scorpio should heed important information that could change their lives. This concerns things that cannot simply be ignored, and in the end, something awaits them that they may need more than they realize. Scorpios, known for their intensity, depth, and relentlessness, have a unique ability from birth to sense and see what is hidden from others. Their souls do not tolerate superficiality, they feel everything around them with a special acuity that deeply transforms them. Scorpios possess a penetrating gaze and strength that does not need extra noise to be noticed. Now is the time for Scorpios to carefully read this message, opening their hearts. It is time to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. Stop allowing others to interfere in their inner world, expressing their opinions on silence, personal processes, decisions, and pain. No one can understand what they have been through, how they managed to stand when everything around them was collapsing. No one has the right to dictate how they should feel or act. This is their personal journey, their struggle, and their recovery process. It is enough to touch their feelings, and Scorpio reveals to the world its ability to transform. It is like a phoenix, ready to rise from the ashes, returning to the world even stronger, more insightful, and selective. However, a natural question arises: why not direct this colossal energy to protect against the suffering that they continue to endure in silence? If Scorpio directed their inner fire, the flame burning in every aspect of their being, to protect their own interests, they would have already reached unprecedented heights. And this is not an exaggeration at all. They would not have to wage a grueling battle with emotional traumas, settle for superficial relationships, and fight internal conflicts that do not belong to them at all. They would no longer have to wait for others to give them permission to be happy and make room for those who only seek to extinguish their inner light. Scorpio needs to learn to take care of themselves. And this is not just about healthy sleep and proper nutrition. It is important to learn to say a firm no to what does not suit them. It is necessary to stop absorbing other people's problems and negativity. Recently, Scorpio has become more sensitive, receptive, and open, and this is a wonderful quality, but it can also be dangerous if you do not learn to filter incoming information. In the immediate vicinity of the subject, there is a certain vague energetic substance. In the absence of proper protection, this can manifest as a sharp and unpredictable emotional decline, capable of causing a state of devastation. At the same time, there are quite definite signs. Increased caution should be exercised when handling open flames, whether it is a kitchen stove, candles, or electrical outlets, and avoid distracting situations. There is a strange vibration that, with insufficient attention, can transform into an accident. This is not an attempt to intimidate, but rather a call to awakening, because the universe does not punish, but only warns. However, there is also positive news. A journey is foreseen that can not only take the subject out of the usual routine but also bring them back to life. Perhaps it is not included in the current plans and will arise completely unexpectedly, but this journey will be a turning point. During it, there will be a reunion with a dormant part of the personality, which will allow you to return to yourself more whole than ever before. Do not doubt this, postpone, or underestimate the importance of this trip. At the same time, the subject is experiencing some discomfort, apparently caused by someone's words that hurt their feelings. It could be a comment disguised as a joke, gossip, or a rumor that has spread through unofficial channels and made them think. However, if they are talking about the subject, then they leave a mark, cause concern, and do not go unnoticed. This, despite the seeming problems, is their strong point. Soon, the subject will gain clarity regarding their environment, clearly realizing who supports them and who drains their energy, who sincerely wishes them well, and who is just waiting for them to fall. With the ability to read people like open books, the subject will no longer allow anyone to wear masks in front of them. This time, they will act in their own style, without unnecessary noise, but with a determination that leaves no room for doubt. It should be stated directly that it is time for the subject to stop being content with only episodic manifestations of love. Uncertain connections that arise and disappear on a whim, seeking Scorpio's company only when they see fit, do not correspond to their essence. Scorpio is not just an emotional transit point but a whole universe deserving of a deep and devoted connection. Staying in an energy-draining relationship means enduring not love, but loss and bondage. A confrontation is inevitably approaching with some irritant persistently hitting a nerve. This time, Scorpio will not allow impunity but will act with his characteristic elegance and cold detachment, which strikes harder than 1,000 words. He will speak clearly and unambiguously, making it clear that the games are over. Family circumstances are set in motion. Whether it's a long-awaited trip, a postponed conversation, or a change in dynamics, the situation will require Scorpio's direct involvement. In addition, there is a feeling of fertility energy. Those who aspire to replenishment should be attentive, and those who do not plan should be especially vigilant. First of all, Scorpio should carefully consider his desires, because in these days his thoughts have special power. The universe is carefully listening to requests, and Scorpio should remember that his desires can come true literally. It is important to consciously approach your requests, based on the depths of your soul. Extraordinary opportunities are now opening up for Scorpios, which cannot be missed, because they can radically change the course of events if there is enough courage to take advantage of them. Do not doubt, look back, or underestimate yourself. Scorpio's finest hour has come, and he feels it. Before moving on, Scorpio should refer to the comments and proclaim for all to hear, "I free myself from everything that hinders my radiance, and I demand what is rightfully mine, given from above." These words are not just a phrase, but a key, a call, and a declaration that opens the door to change. This is where the fun begins. Scorpio's instincts have become extremely acute. If earlier he relied on intuition, now his flair has become as sharp as a razor. He catches hidden meanings, feels falsehood, and understands when something is wrong. He does not need evidence or explanations, because his body itself suggests the right decision. In these days, Scorpio will notice that he has activated a kind of radar. Everything around seems to be trying to convey important information to him, strange dreams, fulfilling premonitions, signs that seem intended for him personally. And these are not just coincidences. Scorpio is in direct contact with his inner strength, and nothing can stop him. In addition, Scorpio will have to complete a protracted cycle that has been repeated time after time and from which he is tired, but continue to support out of habit, out of nostalgia, or out of fear of the future. But now it has come to an end. Scorpio is ready to let go of the past and declare, "I don't want this anymore." And this decision will bring not pain, but liberation, because he did not even suspect what a burden he was carrying on his shoulders. The feeling of relief will be indescribable. As soon as an individual frees up space in his life, it is immediately occupied by something new, like a lightning strike. People with different views, projects that arouse genuine interest, meetings that seem predetermined, all this begins to circle around when a person lets go of the past. The universe does not tolerate emptiness, and opening always entails an influx of new things. However, you should be prepared for someone from the past to return. It can be a person, a situation, an established pattern of behavior, something seemingly buried, but re-emerging as if unwilling to disturb. This will be a test, and the individual will have to make a choice, look back or continue moving forward. It is natural that part of the personality will doubt, because some are characterized by a strong attachment. When they give, they do it completely. Nevertheless, there comes an understanding that not everything that was once a blessing is appropriate in the present life. And this is nothing more than emotional maturity, a quality that can cause pain at the beginning, but ultimately saves. The universe seems to want to make sure that the lesson has been learned, that personal growth has occurred, that the choice will be made out of love for oneself, and not out of need. Will the individual be able to honor his renewed essence? If the answer is yes, then a new path will open, because something significant is looming on the horizon, a professional takeoff, a change of course, an unexpected offer. A person is on the verge of a big leap, but for this it is necessary to have a clear idea of the goals and maintain concentration. The coming changes will not be easy, but they correspond to the scale of the personality. It is time to boldly declare yourself and your abilities, for there is a unique gift hidden in you that few possess. You can no longer allow the fear of condemnation to fetter this talent. The world craves what you are capable of creating, but for this you need to radiate confidence, speak convincingly, and present yourself clearly and unambiguously. It's time to reconnect with your physical, to return to the feeling of fullness of life, because when a representative of the sign of Scorpio breaks away from the physical, he loses his bearings. Movement, breathing, touch, feelings, not just for health, but for the sensation of being present in the moment. Without it, you lose your functionality, sinking into stagnation. If you don't direct that colossal inner energy into a constructive channel, it threatens self-destruction. And we're not talking about grueling workouts at the gym. Walks, dancing, stretching exercises, any activity that brings back the feeling of life will be beneficial. After all, you are living more intensely now than ever before, but you need to feel it, remind yourself of it. Your mission in this world is not to go unnoticed, but to transform. And this transformation process begins with yourselves, with how you love yourself, take care of yourself, conduct your inner dialogue, and make choices in your favor. It's time to stop this exhausting race for an unattainable ideal, to cast aside merciless self-criticism. There is no more room for guilt about the need for solitude, rest, and personal space. After all, every Scorpio is a person, a deep and passionate nature, like an unquenchable flame. And when this flame is ignited by self-love, no shadow can dim its radiance. Scorpio, you know very well that your feelings are not accidental. Inner discomfort and the feeling that this is no longer enough is not just anxiety, but an insistent call to action. Your soul craves change, forward movement, and deep transformation, and it declares this not in a quiet whisper, but in a loud cry. You can no longer stay in places where you don't feel truly alive. Don't pretend to be interested in things that no longer reflect your essence. Stop forcing relationships that lack depth, because you, Scorpio, are born for authenticity, for intense experiences, for everything that comes from the depths of the soul, and not for something lukewarm, predictable, and safe. Yes, it's not easy. To abandon the familiar, even if it doesn't bring satisfaction, means stepping into the unknown, into darkness without a flashlight. But who, if not Scorpio, knows how to navigate in the dark? You are not afraid of the depths, because you know that the most significant changes happen precisely where others do not dare to look. Therefore, you should no longer deny your feelings, postpone important decisions, and muffle your inner voice. Allow yourself to change and flourish. The feeling of inner discomfort is not just a fleeting annoyance, but an important signal of readiness for change and new challenges. It should be remembered that the universe will certainly subject a person to trials, testing their determination and resilience. Old acquaintances may return to life, or situations may arise that seem ideal for returning to the past, but it is necessary to realize that this path is closed. The person already has knowledge of what is harming them, and now they must make a different choice. If they stumble, it will not just be a repetition of old mistakes, but a betrayal of themselves. While changes are raging inside, external circumstances also begin to change. Mysterious messages appear, signs of fate, synchronous coincidences, and new people saying accurate and important words. Places beckon, and projects are unexpectedly activated. At this moment it becomes clear that what is happening is not a figment of the imagination, but reality. There is a certain idea, a project, a unique version, capable of changing everything around. However, for this, it is necessary to fix it, put your thoughts in order, and dare to present it as something feasible, because it really is. In addition, there is a postponed conversation, the very one that has been stuck in your throat for a long time, the truth that can no longer be hidden. For representatives of the Scorpio sign, a period is coming when sincere expression of feelings will become not just an act of frankness, but a healing experience capable of shifting established life structures. Words coming from the depths of the soul will open the way to liberation. It is important to be attentive to the coming changes, because fate is preparing an unexpected turn, whether it is sudden news, a fateful meeting, or a cardinal change that can knock you out of the rut. However, you should not be afraid. In the end, these events will lead to a state of harmony, never seen before. There is no need to immediately grasp the meaning of what is happening. You should trust the flow of life, because what at first glance seems like chaos is actually a process of reordering. Doubts are inevitable, and on some days it will seem that everything that is happening is just a figment of the imagination. But you should not give in to this voice, because it is not intuition, but fear. The destiny of Scorpios is not to choose out of fear, but to be reborn again and again, overcoming obstacles. Perhaps a person from the past will appear on the horizon, a connection with whom seemed long broken, and the wounds healed. Do not be afraid of this ghost from the past. Perhaps the meeting will cause pain or touch old wounds, but this time it will not break you. Scorpio will be able to look the past in the eye and gratefully let it go, recognizing the lesson learned. Once a decision is made, no one will be able to open the closed door. There is also movement of energy in the financial sphere, which requires streamlining. It is necessary to get rid of unnecessary expenses and stop impulsive purchases. You shouldn't use money as an emotional crutch, because if you spend it because of anxiety, it will slip through your fingers. But if you approach finances consciously, they will begin to multiply. Scorpio's true value is not measured by material achievements, but by the ability to heal, the courage to let go of the past, and the intensity of living each moment. If someone doesn't see this, that's their problem. The current period of Scorpio's life is not just another episode, but a key moment that will become a turning point, determining future destiny. It is now that events are happening that will be remembered in the future as the beginning of a new life. When it seems that life experience has already formed a complete picture of the world, the universe presents unexpected surprises that cannot be avoided. These sudden changes are not a punishment or a failure, but rather an incentive for evolution. Like the soul calling out, Scorpio, it's time to face the truth. These events push you to act. Changes happen abruptly and directly, as Scorpios value honesty and do not tolerate half measures. There comes a moment when you need to make a choice, whether to continue to support outdated beliefs or strive for the life you dream of. You need to decide whether to seek peace or continue to maintain depleting connections, whether to build something meaningful or pursue the unattainable. A turning point is coming when there is no more room for delays and compromises. The vibrations are changing, which is becoming obvious. The boundaries become clearer, the voice becomes firmer, the gaze becomes straighter, the aura becomes more powerful. However, not everyone will be able to accept this. Some will leave, others will try to stop you. At this moment, you have to decide whether you are ready to shrink so as not to bother others, or expand to take your place. It is important to grow and not apologize for your essence. You don't need to muffle your voice, hide your depth, or pretend to be indifferent when something hurts. The intensity that was previously considered a disadvantage is actually a strength. During this period, a new connection appears, a person or event that carries a different energy. This could be love, an ally, or an offer. It is important to listen to your feelings, because this will come at the moment when you begin to choose yourself out of love for yourself, and not out of a feeling of emptiness. At the same time, an old desire, project, idea, or dream that was buried due to lack of time awakens. Now is the time to revive it. If you do this with renewed vigor, success is guaranteed. However, to do this, you need to be present in the moment, slow down, and connect with yourself, with your desires. It is important to ask yourself questions, look in the mirror without embellishment, and assess how much what you are building corresponds to your true essence. There is no point in achieving distant goals if you do not recognize yourself in your achievements. There is no point in having a company if you feel lonely. Scorpio, stop deceiving yourself. There is no longer any need to support something out of a sense of duty, fear, or habit. It's time to start over, to write a new story. To do this, you need to let go of everything that no longer suits you. When this happens, do not mourn the departing, but thank it and let it go, because the important will come to replace the superfluous. There is a feeling of something important approaching, it is already knocking on the door. There are moments of great faith and light that will be the result of your determination not to give up, your faith in yourself, and the realization that you deserve more. Scorpio, what is coming will show that choosing yourself was not selfishness, but the beginning of everything. Scorpio, you have already gone through a lot: doubts, twists of fate, decisions, tears, and gaining confidence. And here you are standing on the starting line, ready for what is coming, for an experience unlike anything you have experienced before. This is not an exaggeration, but the result of your strength, pain, and decision not to give up. You realize everything that you have overcome, left behind, and lost, but still continue to move forward. This is not luck, but an inner fire, resilience, and courage that do not require applause. This is the quiet strength of someone who gives their all without attracting attention. And now the universe is returning it to you in abundance, not as a prize, but as a reflection. Everything that is coming is a consequence of your actions. Now, with a clear gaze, a healed heart, and wounds that no longer hurt, but remind you of resilience, with firm boundaries and dreams that you no longer ask for, but demand, you are at the stage of making decisions. Now you choose, open doors, and determine with whom, how, and where to move. Not out of selfishness, but out of confidence that you deserve the best. If something isn't genuine, profound, and free, you no longer need it. And the universe, hearing your thoughts, clears the path for you. Not without difficulties and trials, but with clear signals, glances confirming the right choice, encounters accelerating progress, and messages arriving at the perfect moment. These are not coincidences but synchronicities, answers, and guidance. A time of creation is dawning, where actions are driven not by haste or need, but by emotional equilibrium and mental clarity. The body, finally receiving the rest it has longed for, allows you to notice the striking changes in the world around you. People who previously showed no understanding now seek communication and cooperation. Projects that seemed stuck in a dead end are gaining momentum and beginning to succeed. Unpleasant situations that once caused pain and suffering no longer affect you because your reaction to them has changed. There's no longer the need to cling to the first thing that comes along, no desire to waste precious time on trivialities. During this period, wonderful opportunities, fateful moments, and signs are activated, restoring faith in simple human values, in warmth and sincerity. A timely word, an unexpected display of tenderness, a supportive embrace, all of this becomes accessible. After all, Scorpio, like any other person, deserves care and affection without having to demand it. And this will inevitably happen because your inner vibration has changed. You attract what once caused fear, and now you have the strength to hold on to it. The only task at this stage is trust. Trust in the processes unfolding, in your feelings and sensations. Believe that all the efforts made previously were not in vain and will not lead to a return to square one. Have confidence that the best is yet to come, that the most remarkable events are just beginning to unfold. The question arises, what part of your personality is ready to face the world without fear and doubt? What cherished desire will no longer be postponed? What inner voice will guide you on this new stage of life? It's worth pondering these questions, but don't delay the answer, for life won't wait. It's ready to embrace you in all your glory, without masks, limitations, or prejudices. If these words resonated with your soul, if you felt that the words were chosen just for you, if certain phrases made you pause and reflect, then it's worth paying attention to the Scorpio horoscope. This is not just the end of one phase, but the beginning of a new, rich, and sincere chapter in life. The author encourages Scorpios toward freedom, inspiration, and awareness. Grand events await, destined specifically for this zodiac sign.